God.
We made it through.
We made it through. This was quite the experience. Hi, I'm Danielle.
And I'm Dell.
And this is the Black Catch-Up, where we're catching up on iconic black media we missed out on in our more conservative religious childhood.
Alright, so today's a bit of a special one. We are rewatching. Rewatching our very first video, Boyz in the Hood.
Yes. This is a special because we reached 100 subscribers. I know we reached 100 subscribers like months ago, but we haven't gotten around to doing this ever. And this is also for you guys who ask us to you want to see us watch videos like the movies. Because I'm going to take this out right now because I'm not listening to anything.
Yeah.
But we can't do that because we're on different coasts. We were busy. We don't watch them together anymore. But we are, for you guys, going to do a second chance at watching Boyz in the Hood and comment on some behind-the-scenes things. And it'll be kind of like a chance for that video to not look or sound as bad as it does. Because
It's pretty bad. Definitely looking back at that first video, it's a rough experience.
It's so rough. And if you like this, we could potentially do this with other videos that we've done in the past where we rewatch the movie and rewatch us watch it and see if any of our opinions changed. And also you have a chance to have us talk about Boyz in the Hood with the sound not needing to be at 100 because our audio is so bad.
Yeah. So I guess
without further ado.
Yeah, so we both rewatched the movie and I guess took a few more notes maybe, but yeah, we're gonna pretty much pause as we react to stuff that we said, and I guess you're ready to start. Let's see how this goes.
Let's play this thing.
All right.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay, let's play.
Hi guys, I'm Danielle.
I'm Dell.
And this is the Black Catch-Up. So basically, this idea came about because we both grew up in
the intro
a more conservative
long intro. I'm noticing this too.
So we now feel as though there's a lot of iconic black movies, TV shows, music that we weren't exposed to when we were kids.
And our setup is so janky.
Everybody knows, so we're
we've upgraded a lot.
I forget how loud the thing is.
Oh, yeah.
Ours is so loud.
Oh, especially because the rest of the video is so quiet, you're struggling to hear, then you get class in
the first movie we've chosen is Boyz in the Hood.
Yeah, so I guess we're gonna start off with kind of going through the plot. We're gonna read the plot synopsis, just the plot summary, I guess.
The first things.
Yeah, we're gonna read something and telling us about the plot, just so you guys we're all on the same page. So.
Yeah. And just so you know, we watched the movie together.
Yeah, we can't say that
but
anymore.
after the movie, we didn't talk about it at all. We haven't talked to each other since. Okay.
Getting our live reaction.
Yes. So on IMDb, follow the lives
there it
of
is.
three young
There's
young males living in the Crenshaw ghetto of Los Angeles.
So unprofessional. Licking my fingers. I don't know how he got away with this.
So, and that's literally all it says. So,
how did I not notice you doing that?
Yeah, sure. So
these videos take 20 minutes to record. I definitely could have waited.
It definitely was exactly what it said it was. It was the Boyz living in the hood.
Yep.
You know, so you kind of got to see, I guess, kind of what they go through, I guess.
Yeah.
I thought the character development was really good. They don't do, I think a lot of it was done through just their body language during scenes, the things how they react to things. So you just kind of get to watch them grow up. You see the different paths they all choose, and it gets very emotional towards the end. I don't know if we're doing are we doing spoilers?
Yeah,
at this point, honestly, I knew it was gonna die. I was just kind of waiting for it a lot of the time.
If you didn't want spoilers, you should have left a long time ago because we're talking about this movie.
Honestly, this is why we're playing Tetris, because we've heard so much about the movie. So, I knew Rick was gonna die. So, there was a part of me that was kind of waiting for it to happen. And then even when it did happen, I was like, yeah, I see why this was a moment. I see why this is talked about so much. But
it still hit the same.
Like overall, I definitely enjoyed it.
It did.
Also nice
oh my god.
If not more, honestly.
Yeah, they were like,
days,
it was almost like little baby actors of like the people that we know from other stuff, but they were just so young and so little, and a lot of them still look the same. Like my first note when I was like I took like very few notes during the movie, but the first thing I wrote was Angela Bassett looks the same.
I still think that.
Yeah. And I also enjoyed the movie. Not like I'm probably not gonna watch it again, but I did enjoy the movie, and I thought it was kind of like Cuba Gooding Jr. and Ice Cube's characters were kind of almost foils of each other.
Look at
because
me
they were in the
putting
same
the little
environment.
film
Like,
classes I had to good use.
It was almost like a nurture versus nature kind of thing, where Ice Cube was almost left to just like he didn't have the same nurture that Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character had. So you kind of got to see differences in that. But then you also got a different aspect of nurture versus nature with Ricky and Doe Baby. That's like
look at me knowing the characters' names nowadays. I just
don't
know, and I'm
they
proud.
grew up in the same household, but their prospects were still so different.
Really, are just quick to use the actor's name or just like that one person.
I was recently on like Twitter this week, and I know this is probably Instagram. But it had the like the typical rose in the concrete, and it was about how we always tend to praise the
metaphors
too.
I know.
Like why is it happening? Like what about the environment?
We just come on complain about run times and whatnot.
Now we're surprised at this.
I know.
So I think this movie kind of did a good job of really, I guess, questioning the concept.
We definitely hit the red of not sounding intelligent, like real quick.
Yeah.
Yes.
You think is putting gun stores on every corner. You think is putting liquor stores on every corner. So I thought, that's made me think of Rose in the Concrete.
I think his name was Furious, who was Lawrence Strickland's
character.
He had that really poignant speech that said all that stuff you mentioned.
Yeah.
And it was very much.
Apropos, who am I?
I think very much.
That's still very much the case. So, do you have any favorite roles?
This is us sort of getting into the groove of the actual
honestly,
segments that we do.
I didn't really put down moments. I kind of put favorite themes. So that was the Rose in the Concrete thing was one of them. The other one was I thought it did a good job of showing.
I know.
Especially black.
Now we don't see your head for anything.
Yeah, no,
I guess black women as well. In the scenes where Ricky
and I have this little
I really kind of felt the emotion.
hair
pretty much
bonnet like wrap
on
thing.
And
I only wore it because I needed to redo my hair. And that's the side I need to redo my hair. But I start wearing like scarves and like lots of hair accessories.
The behind the scenes tip right there.
Yeah. How did you do like just that clear favoritism she had for her kids and how that kind of like was woven through their entire lives? Because even in the first scene, she was like, "You're never gonna do shit," to him, and kind of didn't.
Yeah.
Also, our framing is really bad.
Like
we have so much empty space up top.
Yeah.
And it was just very sad.
I think after this we switched to like the vertical monitor for a while, just
especially once you see his SAT scores at the end. I kind of reached this part where I was like, oh my gosh, after he dies, we're just gonna show that he could have gotten into college, and he could have, because that's just one of those stories. I put down a few of my favorites. I kind of did the same thing as you, where there weren't so many scenes that I really liked that happened like in the good chunk of the movie, because this movie is kind of heavier.
I would say it starts off a little not slow per se, but you can just tell it's moving towards something.
Yeah.
And then once it builds towards that,
it does kind of
it's like still going. So besides like any of the beginning scenes, which I could talk about later, but I really liked the relationship that Cuba Gooding Jr. had with his father.
I still like that.
That was a really good spot. Even
that was one of the
when
highlights.
he like first showed up to live with his father when he was like a young kid, and to see the relationship like continue being as strong as it was, and just that through line of talking about Black parenthood and especially fatherhood, and how any fool can like get someone pregnant, but it takes like a real man to be a father. That was a very good through line. And even just the moments when they were like just when his father was cutting his hair, that was a good moment. That was kind of like levity before everything became like real sad.
Yeah, no, I think he definitely did.
Because of the monitor, we had to like make sure that the Boyz and the Hood thing was still up. Yeah.
So, I guess the one final thing I had,
I
really enjoyed the score. It was like kind of subtle in most spots, but when it came in, it was very directed, and you can tell like the decision was made to put those, I guess, little soundtracks in.
Yeah, when the music came up, you knew something. Besides that, I just like.
I'm like sitting here trying to agree with it. I'm like, yeah. Didn't hear what he said.
I liked the beginning of the movie when they were at like the
I feel your pain, viewers.
When I tell you my laptop is at 100 and I'm still struggling so hard.
In the suburbs, we weren't really exposed to this kind of stuff, so this wasn't our Black experience. But in terms of like the classroom where you're learning more of a whitewash history, and in terms of like the barbecue and stuff like that, we've gone to barbecues with our cousins, so like that part was like very much something I could relate to, and it was very fun. And it made me
this was like height of COVID.
Yeah. The Shadow was started as
like
a cool hobby kind of thing, you know?
Problematic parts of the movie. Wrong problems. Because this movie was in the 90s.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're gonna pause. So far, are your thoughts still the same, or do you have anything like different to add in terms of like stuff?
Yeah, no, honestly, I think they're for the most part the same. I still did really like all the relationships in this one, especially between like the parents and their children, between Trey and his father, and Doughboy and his mom, and Ricky and their mom. So like I still do kind of agree with all of that. I also do think it did like a pretty good job of like just like capturing the state of, you know, Black people living in the hood in America. I still agree with that kind of sentiment. So yeah, I think for the most part, I agree with most of the things I said. I'm mad I didn't hear that one part that I missed, but maybe I still agree with it. I don't know.
I don't know if again, because our sound is so bad, and that's why we feel you. We know. I have not watched this since it has come out, I swear.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we mentioned the dichotomy of the nature versus nurture with Doughboy and his brother, where they're in the same family but they get a different mom essentially, and Ricky versus Doughboy, where they're just like in the same neighborhood but they have different like parent figures, and how that like plays into their life. Like, just I guess elaborating on that metaphor that we so eloquently said there. Now we don't say shit like that.
Yeah. We gotta step our game up now.
We're like, this movie was long.
But
okay.
Most of it still stands.
I think it still stands.
Yeah,
okay, let's get back into this.
Yep.
You want to start this? You can start this one out.
I think one of the most problematic parts is just so much casual misogyny. Like, that was just
that 90s misogyny
everywhere. From calling women bitches and hoes, and like just all the talk about just having sex and yada yada yada. It was full of the casual misogyny.
And again, that was all the humor in this movie. Like, that was pretty much all.
I would definitely say that was like a noticeable.
Did not age at all.
You know,
no,
a lot of the jokes that didn't hit as they would have in the 90s, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot more
they age like milk.
Yeah.
They didn't hit the same, you know, like that's, I don't know what else to say. You know, there wasn't as much homophobia. I feel like there were a couple lines that I'm forgetting, but
yeah, there were a couple F slurs.
Yeah, I feel like there wasn't as much.
I don't think there was much.
Like, it's also possible we just didn't notice it in comparison to the misogyny.
Oh, and then there was that little like pointing sound. That was because I think one of our foot tables
in. And I guess it's also possible like, during the time.
Pretty janky setup we had going. The fold-out table.
Yeah.
I guess show it, you know.
Like the ricketiest TV table we had.
It wasn't huge, I guess that's the point of note. Misogyny is
all over the place. Yeah. Okay.
I guess that was honestly all I had for problem. Like, did you have anything else?
The only other thing I wrote was that Black police officer was just the worst.
Oh, yeah.
He was Uncle Tom.
Oh my god.
I almost forgot about him until he popped up.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
He was terrible. It's that thing that happens, if you're Black, you know this, where you kind of are given the narrative that there is an ideal black you can be to not be shot by the police or like not be racially profiled, something like that. It's kind of like there's a certain level that you can get to, whether you like, if you like wear a suit all the time, or you're not taking drugs, or you don't have a do-rag or something like that. And he kind of just embodied that brainwashing where it's like, oh, because I'm a police officer, and because I'm in this position of power, and because I'm not out on the streets, or like I'm not out doing this stuff like that,
the time
that I'm somehow not really black. But Homeboy was still black, and it came
I guess it's okay, because now I feel like our viewers have some context. They've seen us talk about these things before a little bit.
Plus, we've talked about it a lot before.
Yeah.
This isn't our first one.
I think even regardless of race, I think
where we're doing racism 101.
Point of why a lot of police officers do join the police force. Now, a lot of them do join to kind of be able to exert that force. And I think there's that one line that says, if I shoot you, there's nothing you can do about it. That one kind of hit home because they were living in today, you know, regardless of black, white.
Whenever I show people the YouTube channel, you get compliments on your makeup. I forget to pass them along now, I'm sorry. They happen so often, I forget to pass them along. But every time I'm like, this makeup's so pretty, I'm like, yeah, thanks, I'll let her know, then I forget. There's been several that I've meant to pass on.
I also think they were very purposeful in making the black cop say that instead of the white cop, because he did have a white partner, but his white partner never said stuff like that. So,
and I honestly think the scene of them kind of panning over to him and the other black guys both kind of quietly, I think Ricky both kind of just quietly watching, you know, I think speaks to a lot more, like, as a bystander, there's really nothing you can do to, like, stop that fight, you know? So, that also kind of hit home.
Alright, so, now we're going to get into
Also, I don't think this was one of our worst videos. Like, I think the next few, because like, there were like a few in the beginning that were okay, then it got really bad for some weird reason. This one's actually not terrible, you know?
Yeah, I don't think this one was too bad, because we started off, this was actually the first one we ever watched. I remember that.
Or was it not the second? I thought it was the second. I thought we watched Friday first, but then posted it second so it could be posted on Friday.
You're right. Yeah. I think I reversed it because I thought Friday was the first one we posted, but yeah, Friday was the first one we ever watched. Yeah. And we saved it because we were like, you guys know we're corny. We're like, oh, we're going to post Friday on a Friday. Yeah. So that's why it's the second one, but this was the first one we did.
Yeah, but they were pretty much back to back, so yeah.
There was a period of time when we first did it, we had 8 or something like that movies in mind that we wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And we just every day we watched 2 of them and and it was 4 days in a row. Yeah, that's how the math shakes out. Yeah. It was 4 days in a row where we just watched 2 movies and immediately film, watch 2 movies, immediately film, watch 2 movies, immediately film. So we did that. And that's more or less kind of how we do it now still. We still watch 2 movies and then film them back to back. Although I think at this point, we would watch a movie, then film, watch a movie, then film. Yeah. Whereas now, we watch both movies and then film back to back. Yeah. Whichever one we feel like we want to talk about first, basically.
Yeah. We were still watching the movies together at this point, like we've said a few times.
But... Yeah, because we were in the same place.
Yeah.
Now we are not. So we physically do not do that. And then also, I think more so with these two, when we did the negatives, it was more problematic things that were going on in the movies, just because they were such old movies that we were there's got to be problematic stuff in there. Yeah, so of course you get the misogyny and the casual F slur passed along and all that stuff. Yeah. But whereas now, when we were things we didn't like, it's I didn't like that girl's hair, or I thought that wig looked like shit, or I didn't like this one's it was stuff like that.
I also will say, I think we do bring up the problematic stuff still, but these movies were also disproportionately problematic. I don't think we've had any movies that have been as problematic as Boys in the Hood, Friday, those first couple movies we watched.
Yeah,
those were exceptionally problematic. Yeah, the category definitely has evolved. Yeah, the category definitely.
That's part of why it shifted, but yeah. We definitely started off problematic, everybody.
Yeah. So I guess you have anything you want to add to negatives for this one, or?
No, I don't think so. In fact, I might even take the cop out of negatives. Because, like, he wasn't... I just didn't like him, but I don't know if that was it. But it, like, had its place in the movie, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't think I have any new negatives to add.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The only things I had were, like, slightly nitpicky. Like, in the scene where Ricky runs away, they got super casual for some reason. Like, the car originally pulls up, and they're like, oh no, alright, when I say 3, we cut, we run. And then they run, then they get to that alleyway, and then they both just start walking at the most casual pace. Ricky's like doing lotto scratchers.
You guys know he's still hunting you, right?
I'm like, you guys are not in the clear right now. Why are you doing lotto scratchers, But, yeah, I mostly had like little nitpick stuff like that, And then,
I forgot that scene. That scene was so like casual when it came to them running away. Because I feel like in other movies that we've seen, once they're running away, they're still like actively running away. Yeah. But like this one, they like got in the clear for like 2 seconds.
And they started strolling. They had a conversation. He stopped to take a pee. Like, I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, you're not even trying anymore.
Yeah, they definitely switched that.
Yeah. The other nitpick scene I had was when the dad Furious gives his like gentrification speech. It's like a very random circumstance that happens where they like, I don't know why they were in this neighborhood or whatever. I guess they were visiting for some reason.
Well, they were visiting his dad for after they took the SATs to talk to him, and then he was like, come on, I want to show you something.
Okay. That makes sense.
And then he showed...
Yeah.
It still is kind of like, stop the movie, I want to do my little like stand up and say something important type thing. And it's not like seamlessly incorporated. Like the speech is still good, iconic, like all of it's very true, but it's not like woven into the story of like he's sitting down, like he kind of just like stops and he literally is like all but standing on top of a mountain like saying his speech about it.
And the other nitpicky part there was like everyone in the neighborhood just like came outside and walked up to him as soon as he walked out just to like listen to him talk.
He was definitely Moses in that scenario.
But, for the most part, there wasn't too much else to add. Just a few, like, little nitpicky things I noticed in the second watch. But,
see, this is what I'm used to now when it comes
to back to our current days of stuff,
All right. Let's, I guess, finish it off with the rating.
Finish this off. Yep.
Out of 5 stars.
I guess we'll pause after each of our ratings.
Yeah, so, I honestly give it a 4.5. Like, I just really enjoyed it. I liked how the characters just linked.
I want to hear your reason first.
Yeah, like, I really just kind of felt it. Like, felt like I was, friends with it, or I almost ended up friends with it, so. And honestly, like, I see why people enjoyed the movie. I see why it blew up. And again, it was really nice seeing all these actors kind of get their start and, like, almost, like, learn why they're so revered today. So, yeah, I give it a 4.5.
Oh. So you gave it a 4.5. Is that how you feel still?
Yeah. So if you let it play a little bit, I think I say something about like, oh, this was probably slightly high, slightly inflated. It felt high.
Oh, let me see.
Yeah. Let's see.
Seems a little high, which I will admit. I don't know. Like I genuinely enjoyed it. I will say I tend to enjoy a lot of movies, so maybe I might just end up doing higher ratings. I don't know, but I give it 4.5.
I can already tell if this trend goes up. I'm gonna be the one who's like.
This is probably a little generous of a 4.5 there. I will say, like, watching it the second time, I did give it a 3.5. I could even see it being a 4 still. I do still really enjoy the movie. It is, like, a very touching movie. I think what kind of took it down in this second watch is the beginning is a lot slower than I realized the first time. Or a lot less is going on in the beginning. And there's not, like, too much of a like plot in the beginning, like we kind of are like it is very much one of those like kind of snapshot movies where we're just kind of like seeing things happen and there's not really like that like through line. So I thought the beginning was just a little slower than I remembered. Like I really feel like I was like remembering the end of the movie like pretty much like post Ricky getting shot kind of thing, where like there's so much emotion, so much like just feeling in that it like the way this movie ends, like, you feel like you just finished the movie, So, But yeah, no, it's still very, very enjoyable, though. But, I think I'll bump it down to a 3.5 after the second watch.
Okay, now let's see what I said.
Yeah.
Because I gave it 3 out of 5 stars.
Okay.
I also did enjoy it, but the misogyny was just so high that I was like, I understand that was the time. And understand the time period it was in, and that it was a thing that a lot of people said, but I was like, I can't. And also, another reason for that was, we'll actually get into more of my reason when we get to, and in this final segment, which is...
That was when I thought I was going to edit our own mistakes, but we never did.
When we were younger.
Wow, I just had to leave
That question I'm glad we smoothed that out. Do you feel like you missed out on anything by not watching this movie?
And not me leaving everyone wanting more with my rating. I was like, we're gonna get into that. Like, what? Oh my gosh. I think I'll bump mine up to 3.5. I think I actually enjoyed it more this watch than the last one. Than the first time we watched it. And it's also been like 2+ years since we saw it the first time. So it wasn't as like, it's still, you kind of feel your heart race, especially when, Morris Chestnut's character, that's not Ricky.
That is Ricky.
Who is? That is Ricky.
Yeah,
oh my god. When Ricky gets shot, you see that your heart still races when that happens. So that it still very like gets that emotional gut punch. I just think it could have like started a little sooner. Like maybe you could have started off with like, I don't know. It could have started off a little sooner for me.
It does start off very casual. Like, you go through, like, a good chunk of it, they're still kids, and they grow up. And there's, like, still a bit of meandering once they're old, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to bring up...
Once you get to the meat of the movie, it's nonstop.
Yeah.
Once you get to the meat of it, like, after that initial barbecue, I think, it's, like, pretty nonstop with, like, they go to the... I don't know what that event was. It's not a drive-in because they're outside in like the street.
It just seemed like kids hanging out, or like I don't know.
Yeah, and then
it's like a Friday night kind of thing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. When kids still hung out outside.
Yeah. Whippersnappers, you know.
Yeah, they're so old.
Yeah, but I guess speaking of old, that 7-year time skip was doing like so much heavy lifting in terms of like how old these people looked.
I know.
Like it was almost distracting to the point where I was like, okay, like they were like 8 in the first scene, they're like 15 now. Why do they all look 40? You know, and like there was like one scene where like Cuba Gooding Jr. looks exactly the same age as like Lawrence Fishburne, and I'm like,
I kid you not, this time afterwards, I like looked through everyone's age. I was like, how old are these people? Like, there's no way. And as it turns out, Angela Bassett's like 10 years older than Cuba Gooding Jr. and she's his mom. Lawrence Fishburne's like 5 years older than, like, the ages are...
Yeah, that sounds about right.
They were so close together in age. It was ridiculous.
It's like 7 years. I'm expecting to see like a 16-year-old. Like, I feel like people always say like people back in the day just looked older, but this is like another level. It was just like they didn't even try to make these kids look young, you know?
They look so old. All right, let's get to our clunky question. Do you feel like you had like a bad time in your life because you didn't watch this? What the heck? Let's go.
I guess to start with, not really. I mean, actually, I almost would say I feel like the reason I didn't miss out is because I knew Ricky was gonna die. I feel like had I gotten that same shock and surprise as everyone else when it came out, then I would have like I guess felt like I missed out on something, or maybe I do feel like I missed out on something now, but I don't think watching it helped me gain that back.
What?
You know, so,
I was confused too.
I don't know exactly how we worded this question, but the answer might be.
Yeah, because like I don't even know if I answered the question there. And then I'm thinking now, I'm like, yeah, I kind of do wish I saw it sooner. Like it is like kind of that like classic movie, but yeah, I don't know what that answer was. I don't know what that answer. I was like, maybe I would have missed out on something, but I knew the ending was gonna happen, so I didn't miss the cultural moment. No idea what I'm talking about there.
That's why I'm like, what the heck is that? I don't know why in this first video we're very much like keeping it close to the chest, all the answers to the question. Like, what? Oh my god, let's see what I said. Because I think what did I say?
A little more direct at least.
I feel as though this is also kind of hard because we're picking movies that are very popular and just like pinnacles of Black culture. So a lot of the like beats recent, like, popular, like, memification of stuff we would have already seen, but we're like, seeing the origins, so we're not getting that first organic experience. But what I was going to mention before was, I don't think I missed out, really. And also, what's fun is that this movie came out in 91, and I was born in 95, so I'm already too young to have, like, seen it when it first came out. So that's a little hard.
My whole age for no reason.
But also, this movie made me very anxious. This probably could have been part of my review, but it made me very anxious. And I think this one,
yeah, it could have been part of your review,
because of my rating, how I said it was 3 out of 5, this movie, while it's good, is not for me. It's not for me. And, okay, so I think that it's important to tell these stories, these Black stories, and I think this is great that they told this story, and that this is so many people's story. But as we said before, this isn't our story. So while I do feel...
Those are people are tapping out the video.
I probably
like, who cares?
Is it my Black story? And I think that that's wonderful that it's not my Black story. Not in a, like, oh, I'm glad I didn't grow up in the hood, but in that other people can see their story put on screen, you know?
Yeah, no, I definitely think we kind of have our own story. That's part of why we're building this channel.
Yeah.
To kind of tell our story. You know?
No, I don't know. Talk about Lawrence Fishburne on a soapbox. Here I come, like, high and mighty. This isn't my story. But I'm glad other people can see themselves represented in media. Oh, my God. I think I still would say I don't think I would have seen this sooner. Mm-hmm. Just because this isn't the type of movie I would have seen. Similar to, like, how I think with Menace to Society, I didn't want to see it earlier. Or, like, some of the other ones we've watched, I'm drawing a huge blank on other movies we've seen. But, like, they're not my cup of tea in terms of movies I like to watch. I should have just said that. I don't know why I thought I had to be this kind of person, but you guys watch too.
Yeah, I guess. I don't think we did outtakes for these, did we?
No, we didn't. So I will tell you guys the origins of the outtakes. The outtakes started after we did White Men Can't Jump. Because afterwards I did like a weird like... or something like that. I don't know.
I remember that.
And then we decided to keep that in as like a little blurb to do before. And then we slowly started being like, oh, well, let's just keep the camera on a little bit after we finish filming so we can have like fun little outtakes and like things to show our personality for people who like, just to like kind of grab your attention before you start watching us. So that's how the outtakes started.
Yeah, yeah. And now they're kind of used as like a spot to kind of mention those things that don't necessarily fit into a category, like not exactly a pro, not exactly something you want to nitpick out, but like something you notice that needs to be addressed and will probably bring a laugh, at least,
Yeah. So that's how the outtake started.
Yeah.
With me doing a weird thing, and then we were like, let's just keep the camera on after, and then that's how it evolved.
Yeah. But I guess that was most of the first video. Did yours finish?
Do nothing else.
Yeah, I have like 20 seconds left. It's probably fine. Yeah.
We just say nothing.
Probably just our outro YouTube housekeeping stuff. But
yeah. So I hope you all enjoyed us reacting to us watching Boyz n the Hood again, as well as us rewatching Boyz n the Hood again.
Yeah. Hopefully the video doesn't end up too long, but it'll probably be a decent length,
This will be a pretty meaty boy video, so I hope you enjoy that.
But this is fun. Let us know if you want us to do more of these.
Yeah, this was fun. Oh my gosh. I will say this. I've not watched any of our old videos, like, ever. Yeah. But, like, our newer videos, because I think we've kind of hit our stride, or, like, I'm a little more confident doing this and all that stuff. Yeah. I definitely watch our videos now more than I watch our old videos. Like, I've rewatched the, what was it? Whitney Houston, The Bodyguard. I've rewatched that video quite a few times because I find it funny. But, like, yeah, back then, I did not rewatch them.
Yeah.
We, like, paused as though we were going to edit, and then we ended up never editing. And we still don't really edit things now. Only if there's, like, a technical difficulty do I, like, actually splice things together. So, yeah, you got a little behind the scenes. You got to see us watch something, which is what you guys always want us to do. Yeah. And that was Boyz n the Hood.
Yeah, take two.
That was first time watching Boyz n the Hood, The Black Catch-Up.
Yeah. So, YouTube housekeeping. Like, comment, subscribe.
Ring the bell for notifications. If you have any movie suggestions for us or movies you want us to rewatch that we've already done, leave them in the comments down below. We do movies on Tuesdays and Fridays, and this series will come out on Sunday. All of our socials will be linked in the description box down below, and we'll see you next time to catch up. Bye.
But yeah,
it's gonna be a fun editing experiment now.
Yeah, I guess that'll be the real challenge, honestly.
That'll be the real test if we do this series again. How does it look when I edit it all together?
Yeah.
This is the easy part.
Yeah.
Kind of easy part. It was kind of hard watching us, man. Hard to hear too. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. Bit of a struggle.
So, yeah.
But yeah, till next time.
Bye.